Have you ever felt like building one simple training lesson requires like a degree in software engineering? Well, today we're going to dig into a platform that's trying to change all of that. It's promising to take corporate training from this chaotic, multi-tool headache to a smooth, all-in-one process. So let's see if it delivers.
No, really, just think about it for a second. If you've ever had to build training for your team, this slide probably hits a little too close to home. You start with this fantastic idea, but then reality sets in. The reality of turning that idea into an actual lesson. And that is where things get really messy, really fast.
And this is why. Welcome to what we can call the training tool trap, right? You build your core lesson in one tool, then you have to export it to another one just for the quiz. Oh, wait, you want a video? Okay, open up a third app. A practice simulation? Yep, that's a fourth. By the time you finally wrestle it all into your LMS, you've completely wasted hours just trying to get all the pieces to talk to each other. It is an absolute productivity black hole.
But what if you could just break out of that trap? What if all those different puzzle pieces actually came together in one single box? Well, that's the promise we're exploring today. A single, unified platform that handles everything from creation all the way to delivery.
And here it is, REACHUM. The whole idea is actually pretty simple, but it's a huge deal. It's one single platform where you can build your content, test your team's knowledge with quizzes, and let them actually practice real-world scenarios all in one place. No more jumping between a half-dozen different tools.
This quote just nails the entire philosophy. You teach it with text and images, you show it with video, you test it with quizzes, and then, and this is the key part, you let them practice it with simulations. And it all happens seamlessly inside one experience.
Okay, so how do you even get started? This is where the platform's flexibility really begins to shine. Let's break down the 4 different ways you can create a lesson right off the bat.
So this is where it gets really interesting because no matter where your content currently lives, REACHUM has a path for it. You want to build something totally new from the ground up? Great, start from scratch. Got an idea but you're kind of staring at a blank page? Just describe the lesson and the AI will build the whole framework for you. And what about all those old PowerPoints and PDFs you have just sitting around? Just upload them. The AI turns them into interactive lessons. It's all about saving you a ton of time and effort.
But listen, making content creation easy is only half the battle, right? The real question is, does the training actually work? Does it stick? Let's get into how REACHUM moves beyond just passive learning and into genuine active skill building.
Okay, this is a total game changer, especially for anyone in sales, customer support, or management. Just imagine a brand new sales rep practicing their pitch with an AI that can actually raise objections and ask tough questions. They can fail, they can try again, and they get instant feedback and a score, all in a safe, low-stakes environment.
And you can even customize how they practice. So standard mode is for those full-length, realistic back-and-forth conversations. But drill mode, that's where you build muscle memory. Think of a support team just drilling responses to angry customers over and over until they can handle any situation with total confidence.
So that's conversations. But what about skills that aren't about talking? How do you teach someone to use a new piece of software? Well, you can forget about those boring old screenshots with a million red arrows pointing everywhere. REACHUM has a much smarter way to do it.
It's actually ridiculously easy to build. You upload a screenshot, draw a little hotspot over the thing you want them to click, link that to the next image in the sequence, and add an instruction. That's it. In just a few minutes, you've created a fully interactive, click-by-click walkthrough.
And the uses for this are just endless. Onboarding new hires to your CRM, teaching a complex procedure on the factory floor. This is so much better than a video because it's active. Your team learns by doing, which is how we all build real, lasting muscle memory.
All right, so you've created this amazing interactive training. People are using it, but how do you know if it's actually making a difference? This is the final, crucial piece of the puzzle, data. So let's talk about how REACHUM helps you prove your training is actually working.
First things first, you can't prove any impact if no one is even taking the training. Now look at this stat. By using SMS for reminders, REACHUM gets a 98% open rate. 98%! Compare that to the measly 20% you get with email. This means your team is actually seeing the assignments, which is, the first step to getting results.
Now this is basically the training manager's command center. The workforce readiness heat map takes everything, completion rates, quiz scores, their simulation performance, and rolls it all into one simple visual score. No more digging through endless spreadsheets to figure out who's struggling.
And reading it couldn't be simpler. Think of it like a traffic light. Green means go, they're ready. Yellow means caution, they might need a little work. And red means stop and intervene now.
In just one glance, you can see who needs extra help and maybe even where your training needs a little tweaking. It's all about turning data into real decisions.
And that really brings us to the final thought, the big question you should be asking yourself. For years, the main goal of training has just been a certificate of completion, basically a piece of paper. But a platform like this challenges that whole idea. It really forces you to ask, are you just checking a box, or are you building a truly skilled, verifiably ready workforce?